Hey guys, how are we doing? How are we doing this evening, this fine Sunday evening? Hopefully, you guys are having a great end of your weekend or end of your week. Start your week tomorrow. So, hopefully, you guys are having a great Sunday. My name's Tanya or Titanium Built. If you're new to the channel, hello, hi, and welcome. If you're not new to the channel and you're returning, thank you for coming back and joining me for another live. I do appreciate it. You guys could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I don't take it lightly. I don't take it for granted because there are a lot of channels out there. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. So, how's everybody doing? How was everyone's weekend? What'd you guys do? Anything fun? We've been doing fun stuff. It seems like every weekend we try to go out and do something fun. So, that's what we did today. Hey, Mary Beth. Hey, Ladybug. But Vincent could have got away with just driving me around in the car because as soon as we got in the car, I fell asleep. Well, I was trying to fall asleep, but he kept scaring me awake. What are you doing? Scaring me awake. I love sleeping in the car. It's my favorite. Hey, Groovy Nikki. Hey, Princess. Hey, Captain. Hey, Jen. You would think after a car accident, I would never fall asleep in another car, but this one I can. This one I feel comfortable doing that. Hey, Mr. Rosebud. I saw that you hit the like, so everybody hit the like except for Mr. Rosebud, since he said he already did it. Oh, everyone is going after this guy. That's the CEO of United Healthcare, who we're going to talk about tonight, Brian Thompson. It's a shame. I mean, either way, he was a human being. Now, I don't know if the CEO, if he makes all of the he makes the decisions, but I don't know if he makes the pricing. I'm sure there's an accounting office that does a lot of that, but I'm sure that, he does put the final signature on a lot of things. So, hey, Mandy. Hey, True Crime Lullabies. Hey, Mo. Welcome in, everyone. It's 3:32 a.m. there. Mr. Rosebud, you're awesome. You're awesome. Isabel used to come in here that late. She did it forever too. Hey, proud Mimi. Now she's our day girl. Hey, Stephanie. I think I said hi to Stephanie, but that's okay. I'll say hi again. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Hey, Lori. It's good to see everybody. Either way. Hey, DM. Hey, Nicole. Peeking in. Hey, Tark the Shark. It's good to see you guys. Hey, Danielle. Hello. Hey, Aries, the one above all. Are you going to change your name every day? I like this name. I like that one. The one above all. You should keep it. It kind of reminds me, I don't know why, but it reminded me of like the star on the top of the Christmas tree, the one above all. Speaking of which, I need to get one for my tree. I need to get like something to put on there, something to put on top. So, but it's good to see everybody. I figured tonight we'll just go through some of the new updates in the case and just kind of chit chat and just more of a relaxed live, I won't make you guys do anything. No quizzes or anything tonight, no quizzes. No quizzes. But I do want to start off with what I love to start off with the most. I love starting off with a good timeline. So that way we can get to know where we're back to where we were. Because for the last, I think 2 nights, we covered Sebastian Rogers stuff because, those videos were coming out of him. So we covered all of that stuff. So now we're back to covering our other true crime cases. And we will be getting back into the Pikes Massacre as well. If you guys want to keep doing that case, I'm here to cover it. If you're here to listen. So this is the timeline that I did find. This one came out today. I had to double check on the time there or the date there, but yes, it did. It came out a few hours ago. They keep updating the timeline a little by little when things are, when things come out. So there are some things in here that I didn't know before. So I'll read through this with you guys and we'll kind of talk through it. If you're not familiar with this case, we'll get you familiar with it. Basically a CEO of United Healthcare. That's the biggest healthcare insurer in the United States. He was walking across the road to go to an investors meeting, like a conference, and he was going to be a speaker there. And as he was going to walk into the building, somebody came up from behind him and shot him point blank, unaliving him. So we'll go through this article and it'll give us a little bit more details when like the shooter came into town, when he left, when they think he left, who they think he is, all that stuff. So the search for United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson's killer since Thompson was ambushed Wednesday outside of a Midtown Manhattan hotel has stretched beyond New York City. While still looking to identify the suspect, the FBI has offered a $50,000 reward, which it just went up, I think, like an hour ago to $60,000. So a $60,000 reward already. It went from 10,000 to 50 to 60. They want this guy for information leading to his arrest and conviction. That's on top of the 10,000 offered by the NYPD. Okay, so that's how you get to the 60. So crazy. Hey Sheba. Hey, Mike. Hey, Andy. Welcome in, everybody. I'll probably say welcome in 100 times. If you guys were playing a drinking game, y'all would be drunk by the time we got through the beginning of my my lives with all the times I say welcome. The gunman used a fake ID and paid cash during the 10 days he was in the city, New York Chief of Detectives Joseph Kenney told reporters Friday. He also kept his face covered except while checking in at the hostel. He was captured on some of the thousands of surveillance cameras blanketing Manhattan, allowing police to build a timeline of his movements. So I was even reading, and it could be in one of the articles I have up here, that even when he was eating his food with his roommates, like because they have roommates in these hostels, he would only uncover his face to take a bite, and then he would cover it right back up. So that's a little bit too much, but I mean, he could play it off and say he was like OCD. He wasn't feeling well. He didn't want to get anyone sick. So here's what we know so far about the New York New York PD described as a planned attack. So they said this is all planned. I believe that. At 10:11 p.m., the suspected shooter arrives in New York City on a Greyhound bus at Port Authority Terminal. The bus originated in Atlanta and made 6 or 7 stops on the way to New York. Police could not immediately determine where he got on the bus. The man takes a taxi to the area of New York Hilton, Midtown, and is there for about half an hour. So as soon as he gets into town, he goes straight to where the crime is going to occur, and he hangs around there for about 30 minutes. I guess just to check out the area. Which I didn't know that before. At about 11 p.m., the man takes a taxi to the New York City hostel at 891 Amsterdam Avenue, where he stays until the morning of the shooting. He presents an ID that police believe to be fake. 2 roommates in a shared room that had bunk beds never saw his face, police said, because he kept his mask on. When speaking with an employee in the hotel or the hostel lobby, he briefly pulled down his face mask and smiled, flirting. A moment captured on surveillance images that have been widely circulated by police. And I'll show you pictures of the inside of the hostel here later on, and you can see where the cameras are. The man was checked out of the hostel, where guests are automatically checked out if they don't show at the desk by a certain time. Police don't believe he stayed someplace else and checked back into the same hostel the next day. So they don't think he stayed anywhere else. Okay. About 5:30 a.m., the suspected shooter leaves the hostel well before dawn. At 5:41 a.m., he appears on video at 54th Street and 6th Avenue, walking back and forth in the area of the Hilton Hotel, where United Healthcare's parent company, United Healthcare Group, is holding its annual investor conference. So he's on the side of the Hilton, the side of the shooting. That's the side of the road that the shooting occurs on. And he's walking back and forth, pacing, getting some, I guess, energy out. I mean, maybe that's when he was eating the protein bar and drinking the water. Police deduce that he rode a bicycle to the Hilton because it took him such a short time to get there. Could he have stolen the bike? These are things we're looking into, Kenney said. At some point, he went to a nearby Starbucks. All this is okay. He went afterwards and purchased a bottle of water and at least one energy bar before returning to the hotel. So now it's at least one. Before it was two. So I'm gonna get my studio up here so I can see the chat better real quick. I feel like my computer's been running kind of slow. Oh, better go get a new one. Just kidding. I'm not really, because I think I am getting a new one, but this one's being slow. A little slow poke tonight. Get up there. Tab. There we go. Hey, Jojo. Hey, Michelle. See, I can see the chat like so much better when it's up here. So much better. Okay. So this is whenever it starts to go down to the minute. So at 6:44, he shoots Thompson as the executive arrives alone on foot, having walked from a hotel across the street, and then the man flees. At 6:48 a.m., the man enters Central Park by bicycle at the 60th Street and Center Drive entrance. It's in the park and away from security cameras that police believe he discards a gray backpack. And they find the backpack. Which was a $300 backpack, let me tell you. No. I would be leaving my $300 backpack at home and be taking my cheaper backpack to be doing this. If you're going to be leaving your backpack just wherever, afterwards, it's pretty expensive. I mean, let's just say that he can, I guess, apparently the way that he was dressed and everything, he can, afford to throw away clothes and a backpack and some Monopoly money. Maybe some crayons. I don't know. So at 6:56, he leaves the park. So he's there from 6:48 to 6:56. And he leaves at West 77th Street in Central Park West, still on the bicycle. At 6:58, he passes another camera on 85th Street and Columbus Avenue, still on the bike. At 7 a.m., he's at 86th Street, no longer with the bike. So between 85th and 86th, that ain't going to be too hard to find a bike, but I mean, maybe now. But he no longer had the bike. So, and that's 2 minutes. So enough time to ditch a bike and maybe take the motor out if he wanted to take the motor with him. At 7:04, he enters a taxi northbound on 86th Street and Amsterdam Avenue. At 7:30, he is near the George Washington Bridge and the bus terminal there. It offers commuter service to New Jersey and Greyhound routes to Philadelphia, Boston, and Washington. So within the hour of the shooting, he is already at the bus terminal, dipping. He ain't staying for nothing. He ain't getting a slice of New York pizza. Like he's like literally dipping. After the attack, investigators find the words "deny, defend, and depose" written in permanent marker on ammunition at the scene. The words mimic a phrase used by insurance industry critics. Now, I want to go over this really quick because I've read 4 or 5 articles today about this. And another article said that they have confirmed, and we'll listen to that. I think it's a video, that it was actually, okay, so in the beginning, this is going to be weird. Stay with me. They said that the bullet casings had writing on them. And they said defend, deny, depose. Okay. So now they're saying that those bullet casings, in another article that I read, depose, delay, deny. The famous book that they're referring and they're referencing to is called, it's a different name, Delay, Deny, Defend. So I don't know exactly. I mean, until we see these casings for ourselves, I don't know what is written on them definitively, because there's 4 or 5 articles that say like 4 or 5 things. So we'll see what this one says, because I think it was a newer one. So we'll go by what they say. And I think that they're saying that it is depose, delay, deny. But we'll see. Very, very strange literature either way. I mean, it kind of almost tells you your tale, you know? Like, I mean, my opinion of this person now is somebody that in his family is terminally ill. Now, I could be totally wrong. I don't think it's him that's terminally ill. Now I'm thinking about it. I feel like it's a parent or a child, but I don't know. Or maybe he was going after just him for everybody in general that needed it. I don't know. You know what I mean? That was needing the help from this insurance company and they weren't getting it. I don't know. Maybe he was just doing like an attack and it was just by himself. Kenyan Police Commissioner Jessica, I can't say her last name, Tish, revealed that investigators believe the gunman left New York City on a bus. Investigators say he entered the George Washington Bridge bus station, but have not found video of him leaving or getting on a bus. It could possibly be a disgruntled employee or a disgruntled client, Kenny says of a possible motive in a briefing. Police find what they say in the man's backpack. Its contents are not disclosed. Or police find what they say is in the man's backpack. At this time, the contents are not disclosed, but we'll find out what they are. Police continue to search Central Park. Scuba divers are seen scouring a pond. The New York Police Department releases additional photos showing the suspected shooter next to and in the back seat of a taxi. In both images, he is seen wearing a blue medical-style face mask. Despite recovering a fingerprint from the Starbucks purchase and sending items for DNA testing, police have yet to publicly identify the suspect. Scuba divers are again seen at Central Park Pond. Police declined to comment on the investigation. It's like, well, why? Why are you declining? They declined, and then they, yesterday they spoke on the investigation. So I'm gonna share this tab with you. I'm gonna play this for you guys while I let the dogs in. I can hear them at the door. Their little paws are just going. They went to the bathroom. They went on a walk, so they're happy. Hey, Sherry. Hey, Tina. Welcome in, everybody. Hey, JC. Welcome in, guys. It's good to see everybody. If you guys are just now joining us, hi, IP. We are talking about with Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare. I always want to say another health insurance company for him, and I don't know why, but United Healthcare. He was the CEO. He was gunned down on Wednesday. We are now going to hear a little bit from the police on it. And this is from, like I said earlier. So this was from the 7th, so yesterday.
Release that now. If you do, you're basically giving a tip to the person we're seeking, and we do not want to give him an upper hand at all. Let him continue to believe he can hide behind a mask. We're going to, just as we revealed his face, we're going to reveal who he is, and we're going to bring him to justice.
The investigation already includes a significant amount of physical evidence. The bullet casings with the words deny, defend, depose inscribed, leading to speculation the motive is linked to the insurance industry. Late Friday, an extensive drone and foot search of Central Park located another key piece of evidence, the distinctive gray backpack worn by the killer as he executed United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. The backpack is now at a crime lab for forensic testing, and police have not revealed what was inside. In particular, whether the murder weapon was inside, but the item which made the bag appear full was reportedly the hooded jacket worn by the killer. Meantime, with the reward now at $60,000, hundreds of tips are coming in about the suspect as police continue to search Central Park and pour through hundreds.
What was in there before must have been closed before, because the backpack looked full before as well. I have a backpack similar, and I thought it was just like mine, but mine's a little bit different than this one is.
Hundreds of hours of surveillance.
The manner in which they were able to follow his footsteps to recover evidence. Some of it is known, some of it is unknown, but the net is tightening, and we're going to bring this person to justice.
Now, this bus terminal accommodates multiple lines, including Greyhound, and we have learned that all Greyhound buses are equipped with cameras. So it's likely investigators know where the suspect was headed, as Mayor Adams alluded to. Police and the FBI may be closing in. Natasha?
Yeah, we shall see. Nancy Liu in New York City tonight. Thank you. And let's bring in News Nation national security contributor, former FBI special agent, and CIA officer Tracy Walder. Tracy, always good to see you. Thanks for making the time.
Thank you for having me, Natasha.
So we're looking at these details. Authorities now have the burner phone, the water bottle he may have dropped. They are testing for DNA on that backpack. What is standing out to you at this point in the investigation in the manhunt?
So I know people may come for me for this, but I'm actually not convinced that the backpack will yield a whole lot as well as DNA. Part of the issue with that is once they have the DNA, it actually becomes very time consuming to process for a couple reasons. The first issue is that the state of New York, unless you have actually been convicted of a crime, your DNA is not going to be in the system. So that is going to be problematic. They can start doing familial or genealogical DNA, which is how they found Brian Koberger, but that process can take, 3 weeks to a month as well. And so I'm actually not convinced that DNA is how they are going to catch this individual. I think it's going to be through the video canvassing as well as possibly his phone.
Yeah, it looks like police have deployed a dive team in the fountains in Central Park. What would they be searching for?
I believe if they've deployed a dive team, they are most likely looking for the murder weapon. That would be the most likely place that he would have really tossed that aside, typically because obviously water is difficult to find things in, and it would wipe off any fingerprints. If you noticed in the video that they have of him killing Mr. Thompson, he does not have gloves on. And so this is an individual that, in my opinion, knew he was going to be able to throw away that weapon and not have fingerprints on it.
Let's talk about the level of expertise and planning here. I mean, according to Thompson's wife, the CEO had been getting threats. Does this look like a professional hit job to you, or an amateur with a grudge?
I think both, Natasha. I'm sorry to sound ambiguous about that. I think the first thing is, a lot of people were talking about how this individual was some kind of highly trained assassin and this is what this person did for a living. I don't think that. I think if that was the case, this individual would have hit Mr. Thompson initially. He really wasn't that far from center of mass and he missed that first shot. And so that tells me that this is someone that has clearly trained with a weapon, but is not some kind of highly trained assassin. However, to write that on the bullet casings, to be in New York City 10 days before Mr. Thompson was there, to know what hotel he was going to be at, this really did take a high level of planning.
What do you think the motive may have been here?
My gut says it has to do with insurance. So it has to do with a lack of coverage, a lack of providing being done by the insurance company. Maybe someone close to this individual was denied services and was denied life-saving coverage. Maybe this individual was, I don't know. But I do think that it had to do with denial of coverage.
Tracy Walder, appreciate you as always. Thank you so much.
So she kind of thinks the way I think. But the wife angle, I mean, I can see that. I can kind of see that too, if that money is going to be running out soon because their oldest son is out of high school, out of the home. I don't know if he's out of the home, but I know he's out of high school. The other son, I'm not sure how old he is. I can't remember for sure. I want to say like 16, but he's still in the home, going to school. Well, I don't know if she lived with. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know if he lived with his mom or with his dad, but now he's going to be living with his mom either way. I wonder how, I'm just curious because I'm nosy. I wonder how much he was paying in alimony, if any, if they had anything set up. That would be something that, I mean, if they had something where there was set up, she was getting payments, I would probably be side-eyeing a little bit. Like, okay, these payments are getting ready to run out. But if she has like her own career and he's not paying her alimony, and she's doing it on her own, then I wouldn't be looking at her at all, like, because she's doing it on her own. She has no reason. But thank you, Tennessee gal. She's living a life of luxury. So yeah. There has to be, yeah. So much camera footage. And they'll find it. They'll find it all. Yeah, email me. I'll look into them. I think she might have a little money too, but I'm not sure what she does exactly. It'll probably come out, I'm sure. This dog is hating this bed. She's been like trying to get in it and get comfortable. I'm about to get her a new one. I think she needs a new one. We just got these not too long ago, but I think hers like shrank or something in the wash. I feel like it's not big enough for her. What are you doing? Can you see her? I don't know if you can see her. You can't see her, but she's over here like messing with stuff. Sorry, guys. That's the dog. So this is what to know about United Healthcare CEO murder as NYPD releases new photos of suspects. So I wanted to look at these new photos because when I first saw this photo, y'all, I thought he was in the back of a cop car. I thought we found the guy. I thought I was going to come on tonight and be like, we got the suspect in custody, but he's in the back of a taxi cab here. I thought it was a cop car. So I guess we can tell what I've ridden in before. I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. But I did think it was a cop car. Police released 2 new images Saturday of a man they believed fatally shot CEO, United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, marking the latest development after what police said was a brazen targeted attack. Very brazen. Let's see here. So this is the first one. Let me see if I can open this, yeah, I can make it a little bigger for you guys to look at it. Now I might consider that guy having some bushy eyebrows, actually. But this is supposed to be him, I guess. Now, this looks like a black hoodie that he's wearing. I'm not sure. There's another picture, so we'll have to look at the other picture. So I wanted to read this part. So Thompson was shot in the back and right calf. I didn't know exactly which leg or anything that he was shot in, but that was outside the Hilton. We read through all this, so I just want to make sure that we don't miss anything. But we already knew this, but I'll repeat it. Police recovered a burner phone and water bottle in the alley near where the shooting took place. It was in like one of the passageways that you could walk through. So they found, I believe, the candy, or the energy bar wrapper as well, the water bottle, and then they found a phone. So they're analyzing that right now. I don't know if he dropped those out of mistake, or if that was put there on purpose. Let's just say this is like the wife or someone, like an inside job or something. Maybe they would plant evidence like that to, make people look over here, not over here. But for him not, I mean, he did get on one of those buses though and leave out of the terminal. They just don't know which one, which is so weird to me, because you would think they would have a video of him going up and buying his ticket, right? Like, I mean, you've seen him with his mask down. We've all seen him now. Like, they're probably pouring over so much, like, hundreds of hours of video right now. But these are the pictures. So these were the first 2 that came out. Let me go here and see if I can pull them up for us. Okay. So this is the one where his mask is completely down. Another one with his mask down. Anybody recognize this guy? You could be $60,000 richer. Yeah, Scott, that's what I thought too. Looking right into the camera in the cab. Yeah. That freaks me out a little bit. I ain't gonna, freaks me out a little. Okay, share this tab with you guys. Okay, there we go. I was like, where's the one with his mask down? Okay, so there's the one with him smiling, flirting with the lady. And then he's serious again. But those are the 2 pictures. Now, there was video circulating, and that was totally AI, like, generated, in my humble opinion. I mean, it was bad. It was bad AI. And Jennifer Coffendorfer is over on Twitter fighting with everything in her being that this was not AI, that she had it sent off to someone that she knew at the FBI, I'm like, they need to be fired. I wonder if I could find it. It was pretty bad AI. But yeah, the way he was looking in, this one, yeah. That's a little spooky. Little spooky. And then he's getting out of the car. I guess he's wearing a blue puffer jacket or black puffer. Well, this is a different jacket. He had to have 10 days worth of clothes with him, though. His eyebrows look thick. Is anybody else thinking that his eyebrows look like they look better than mine? But they're like thick. I mean, they go out. Like, I think that's like a trait that someone would pick up on. You know what I mean? Beautiful smile. The guy has a beautiful smile. We can't deny that. I think the smile, I mean, really straight teeth. You know, I don't know. I think he has a really nice smile. Perfect, like not like, you know, perfect kind of like teeth. Like, is what I'm saying. Let me put the thing back up. The picture back up. But to me, it's almost, I don't know. There's something off about him. I don't know what it is. Don't know what it is. Hey, Wizard Walt. He looks like you when you're in your 20s. Oh my. Let me stop sharing this for just a second. My connection lost the sound, so if we needed it. And then this is him getting out. And I think that's a black. That looks black or maybe dark blue. So I wonder if this taxi takes pictures so often, or if this driver took these pictures because he thought this guy appeared a little off. Like if there was some reason for him to do it, or, you know, maybe it was a female driver. She thought he was cute. I don't know. Like, but maybe there was a reason why they took the pictures. But this one is freaky. It's like he knew where the camera was and he was looking right into it. It's kind of freaky. So he stayed here at the American Youth Hostels. Pretty big place. Heard it's actually pretty nice. And this is the inside area. There's the cameras. And then it just shows you like an outside eating area. Not too bad of a place, though. I wonder what this is. It says new timeline revealed. Okay, we'll see. Let me open this up in another tab because I want to show you this video. Please pause. I'm going to move us over here just to see what it says new timeline. So we'll see what it says.
The manhunt and the unidentified gunman approached United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson has now reached its 5th day. We all remember what happened early Wednesday morning in New York. The suspect opened fire outside the New York Hilton Midtown in Manhattan, and then vanished into the streets of the Big Apple, prompting a large-scale manhunt. And we've seen new images, we've seen new video, but we have not been able to locate the suspect. That is what New York City Police are saying. They did come up with a timeline here of the shooting, and I want to kind of go through that for you right here on Live Now from Fox. Kind of gives you a detail of the map to what we all know. So number one there on the screen, at 6:44 in the morning, the victim is walking alone towards the New York Hilton Midtown after exiting his hotel across the street. And then number two moment there, the shooter, who is lying in wait alongside the building, fires at him. Then number three, the shooter then runs to an alleyway there across the street between 54th Street and 55th Street. Then once at West 55th Street, the shooter continues to walk on 6th Avenue, where he gets onto a bike. The shooter rides north on 6th Avenue towards Central Park. And then at 6:48, the shooter rides the bike into Center Drive there. And then we all know what was happening. And next, the suspect goes to Central Park, was able to drop a backpack there. Inside that backpack containing Monopoly money. So once again, trying to put some egg on the face of the police and the investigators.
We're going to talk more about the Monopoly money in a bit. It's crazy to me. I don't know why my computer is like not letting me go full screen.
As we are all talking about this manhunt now
StreamYard
entering
probably.
The 5th day, they believe that the suspect sometime in that morning hour then went on a bus, and we do not know where that person then went next. Obviously, they are continuing to try to look really at every possible angle here of the videos that they are getting, but still need the help from the public there, as well as anybody that might know something about this shooting that really scared so many New Yorkers and really across the country there. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on this major story for you. Earlier today, scuba divers were also with the New York Police Department were seen scouring a lake inside Central Park as the manhunt for the killer of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson continued. Divers were searching for evidence inside the lake throughout the morning. The lake is near where officials found a backpack linked to the suspect. Images and video show divers signaling to one another as the search continued there. So still a lot of moving parts right here, and it feels like you're just getting the surface stuff right now from the investigation in the public, but we'll wait and see if there's any.
Okay, right here. I was just getting ready to pull this up. This backpack here is different. This is a different backpack. Why didn't he leave this backpack in the park? Like, I don't get that. Why didn't he leave this one in the park for them to like rush through and take? Why $300 backpack?
More updates starting tomorrow morning from NYPD. We'll take another 2-minute break here.
You really
on Live.
upset me, Mr. Live Now Fox, because you did not have no new shooter timeline. There was nothing new in that timeline. I'm so sad. Tennessee gal, I asked one night who had it. I said, if no one minds telling, because I was just curious to know if like anything were to happen, like, because I'm thankful I have really good insurance. I've never had a problem. Knock on wood. But Vincent has Anthem, and they just did a big change where they're only giving you so much anesthesia when you go through surgery. So let's say you have a 3-hour surgery and they only are going to give you enough for an hour and a half, and you have to pay the rest out of pocket. Like, what do you do? I mean, what do you do? I said, you better tell your surgeons to learn how to work faster, because that's going to be a big fat no for me to ever pay for anesthesia. That's way too expensive. It's way too expensive. That's more expensive than the whole damn procedure is being put to sleep. Really, I mean, they're the ones that have to help you be woken back up. So sources reveal contents of the backpack, which we kind of been talking about the contents of them, but the gray backpack linked to the murder, Brian Thompson, which authorities found dumped in Central Park, has reportedly yielded a piece of clothing and some Monopoly money, but no gun. Now, why in the world would he put Monopoly money in there? I don't know why he would do that. The only thought I can even come up with is if he went back and ditched the book bag later on put the monopoly money in there as like a taunt, like because the cops and the news was saying like he has to be using cash. He can't be using anything but cash because if not, he'd be caught. So I could see somebody being sarcastic and being like, yeah, what do you think I'm using? Monopoly money? Like, I don't know. I don't know the significance of the monopoly money. I would love to know what your guys' take is on that because I have no clue. Or maybe that was to pay for the insurance. What, maybe he's going to be like, what do you think I'm going to use? Monopoly money? I don't know. Maybe there's some sarcasm in there or something. I don't get that, Could be an activist group. Yeah. Insurance is a monopoly. Oh. Insurance is kind of like a monopoly in a way. Right, Tennessee gal? I hate to be put to sleep and wake up in the middle of a surgery. Oh, they're not going to do that anymore? Well, I hope not, because I was telling Vincent about it. Hey, Pretty K, and he was I think he's a little worried. He's never had a surgery a day in his life. Oh, 6 weeks ago, they tried to buy another healthcare agency, and they were stopped by the feds about the money, not health. Yeah, like, I think it has it's some sort of, I hate to say it, but like riddle piece or something. Just like, I've seen and heard on like crime shows where people would leave like playing cards or something like of that nature. And they would leave those behind to see if the cops could, figure out who it was. Yeah. Wow. Because oh man, it's crazy. So no gun. They were talking about, they thought it was like a veterinary's gun. Like veterinarian gun? I don't know if I could pull that up. Oh, well, it's coming up this stuff. But we can. Okay. I think that was all. They're just, going to analyze everything for clues. That's him there. The suspect shooter of United Healthcare, Brian Thompson, is leaving the scene. That might be when he's going up in between those two buildings. When he's running away. It says killers playing games with the authorities, all part of a cat and mouse game, he said. Former Washington homicide detective Ted Williams said that. The killer knew that it would likely not, it says this killer knew they would more likely than not find the backpack, and he is leaving breadcrumbs to let the authorities know that he is in control, not them. Ooh. I could see that. I could see that being a thing too. I could, definitely. So, this one's the same. That's the same article, just the monopoly money. It's crazy to me. And we'll listen to News Nation talk a little bit about the monopoly money, because maybe they'll have a little bit of an insight of what they think it could be.
New photos of the suspect, while New York City Mayor Eric Adams implied at
and that's where they've been searching.
Conference that law enforcement has identified him. News Nation's Caitlin Becker is with us from right outside Central Park, where authorities are searching for the murder weapon this morning. Caitlin, good morning. What are we learning?
Yeah, Henna, Central Park is a hotbed of police activity.
divers were wading through the lake in Central Park searching for the murder weapon. It's believed to be a rare gun called a B&T Station 6. Investigators actually went to Connecticut to look for the place of purchase. And we know from that surveillance video that it's a long-barreled gun with a suppressor that was attached to the end. It does seem that the divers so far have come up empty-handed, so they may be back again for a second day of searching in that lake. As you said, we also have new images released by the NYPD of the suspect. They're pretty close up. They're pretty clear. He is in a mask again. However, I feel like when you're looking at the pictures that his eyebrows and his eyes are pretty distinctive. So this may lead someone to say, hey, I recognize this guy. I saw him that day. And if it's any indication by Mayor Eric Adams, it does seem like the NYPD is closing in on their suspect. But Hannah, I want you to pay attention on exactly how he phrases this. Take a look.
We don't want to release that now. If you do, you're basically giving a tip to the person we're seeking, and we do not want to give him an upper hand at all. Let him continue to believe he can hide behind the mask. We're going to just have to reveal his face. We're going to reveal who he is, and we're going to bring him to justice.
So he seems to indicate that they know who it is, but they don't want to reveal his name publicly so that they don't spook him. Some people took that as an indication that maybe they don't actually have his name, that it just is something that perhaps they're getting closer, or the mayor wants to make it seem as so. But it's possible, Hannah, that we could get a name soon.
And Caitlin, you were reporting about the backpack that was found in Central Park. There was a lot of interest in what was inside. What do we know this morning?
What the heck
Hannah,
is up with
you're
him?
not going.
Okay, then the dude's got money. The dude's got money. He's throwing around $300 backpacks. The gun's too. I was like trying to write down the gun. What kind of gun? I don't even know what she said. I'll have to go back and listen. But I've never heard of that gun before. And I sell guns back in the day. If you could believe that. They were legally sold out of a store. But I used to sell them to hunters.
To believe this. I mean, this was this bombshell discovery. It was discarded in Central Park by 71st Street. They thought inside it could actually point them to the killer. It was Monopoly money. Monopoly money stuffed inside of this backpack and a Tommy Hilfiger jacket. Unclear if the jacket is the killer's, unclear if it's something that could point to a possible motive as to why, unclear if it's a random jacket that could just be a red herring to make investigators kind of chase their tail. So the Monopoly money could suggest, of course, something similar to what we saw in those bullet casings, that this has something to do with United Healthcare, with the insurance industry. Or it's something that's just going to taunt police and waste their time, Hannah. It seems like the killer in this case is kind of owning the narrative a little bit by leaving these clues along that are forcing us to sort of talk about them. It seems like it's out of a Netflix movie, Hannah.
It really is. Monopoly money inside that backpack. Really great reporting. Caitlin Becker, thank you so much. Thanks for watching.
Okay. Why they always gotta be so loud? Whoa, that was weird. So this is where the shooting took place, New York, Hilton, Midtown. And then over here where the red is where the book bag was found. I don't know if you can drop this little guy. He's blue. Why is he blue? Okay, well, this is where it was found, somewhere in this area. Pretty busy little park, huh? Well, it's like the biggest park, probably like most known in the United States. I don't know if this is StreamYard that is causing me to be so slow or what. Let me see if I like close some of these tabs. So weird. So weird, guys. I never have problems with my computer being slow, so it has to be I would think it would be StreamYard, but I don't know. I never usually have problems with StreamYard either. So we're just going to exit out of a few things and see what's left up here. Thank y'all for being patient with me. See my new red microphone cover if you guys missed it yesterday. Or I guess, no, today I did a video, but I wasn't on camera. I was getting ready, so I couldn't be on camera. I was doing the video as I was getting ready. Okay. That's how long it's taken me to close like 5 windows. That's so crazy to me. This one was. I think I accidentally exited out of one of the windows I wanted to keep up. Okay, here it is. If I can get this to come up. It's going to be the ex-bodyguard of Brian Thompson. So I guess they did have bodyguards because there were threats against some of these executives. And I don't know if he just said that day he didn't want them or this whole trip. We're going to find out.
Portrait is emerging of Brian Thompson, a 20-year veteran of United Healthcare, a high school and college valedictorian. He was also married and had 2 children, but had separated from his wife and they lived in different homes. CNN's Whitney Wild is live in Minnetonka, Minnesota, where United Healthcare is headquartered. Whitney, what are you learning about who Brian Thompson was and what he meant to that community?
Well, Laura, what is very clear in talking with people who knew him, they affectionately called him BT, is that he leaves behind a legacy of compassion and of leadership. He was a good colleague, a good friend, a good parent. What we learned in speaking with people who knew him in his past and in his present was that he took a lot of time to think about other people. For example, he spent quite a bit of time working with the Special Olympics. Here are a couple of the people who knew him way back when his roots ran through Jewel, Iowa, and today working with him at the Special Olympics.
If you'd look at his class of '93 classmates, they would all tell you that they knew he was going to strive to be something big.
You have somebody who was incredibly smart. He was very good at the work he did. He was had this attention and he would get into the details. He also had this great energy.
Laura, he was so young to have a job that prestigious. He was just 50 years old, again, the CEO of United Healthcare, working his way up through the ranks here, finally achieving that title in 2021, Laura.
I mean, you can't overstate the magnitude of a company like that in my home state of Minnesota. I mean, it is so far reaching. And to think that this is the CEO and a father, a beloved family member. What are you learning about his family and God, how this murder?
What is going on with this? I might have to restart my computer. It's the last video I wanted to show you guys. Let me stop sharing it. It's not my internet. I turned my camera off because I thought maybe it was too much stuff going on. Let me see. This is so weird. I said I needed a new computer, and it's like, I'm going to show you you need a new computer, lady. I just got this one a couple years ago. Okay, now seems like it's working fine. Pull it back up on StreamYard if it does anything weird. Yeah, I feel like it's being weird.
Actually targeted with a fake bomb last night.
Right. As if this family hasn't been through enough, right? They had these bomb threats that were called in at Brian Thompson's home as well as at Paulette Thompson's home. They are close together. They're probably about a mile apart. But the Maple Grove Police Department, that's the police department that covers that area, said plainly those were swatting incidents. It was a hoax. But this tragedy has, it just left them completely shattered, Laura. They have declined much media interviews, but they did issue a statement saying that they are completely shattered, saying that Brian leaves behind, again, a legacy of compassion, of love, of generosity. They called him incredibly talented and a wonderful father, Laura.
Whitney Wild, we can't lose sight of the fact that a human being lost their life as we look to see who this person is who took it. Thank you so much for your reporting. Look, Brian Thompson's widow told NBC News that there had been some threats against him, but as you saw in the surveillance video, he left that hotel alone, was walking alone. There were no bodyguards present that we can see, no protection, it seems. My next guest once provided Thompson with security in the 2000s as he actually was rising through the ranks at United Healthcare. Philip Klein is the CEO of Klein Investigations, and he joins me now. Philip, thank you for joining. When you heard about Brian Thompson walking early in the morning, alone, no security, was that odd to you?
It was baffling, to be honest with you. You get at somebody in the #1 healthcare organization in the United States of America who is a corporate executive, a high-ranking one, as a matter of fact, just sitting on the board of directors, and he has no protection around him.
Really?
That is just baffling. I don't understand it. We still don't understand it. It could have been one of two things. According to the teams that we've listened to today, and of course the news media giving us information. One, it could have been a personal choice. He may have not liked living in the bubble, and that's what we call somebody that is in the middle that we are protecting. It's called the bubble. We're around him. Even when he goes to the restroom, we're still right outside the door, that sort of thing. Or United Healthcare chose not to provide security for him. I don't know the answer to that. I'm not going to speculate on it, but it is.
You better hope he is the latter. And he didn't want that security detail, because if it comes out that United Healthcare pulled back because they didn't want to spend the money or something like that on it, that'd be bad.
Highly unusual for the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar corporation not to.
They'll give it to him for free.
Have people
just
around
for who
him.
he is.
It's just, again, it's baffling.
That might be so counterintuitive to people to think that, security, many people think are relegated maybe to high-profile athletes or entertainers or people in Hollywood. But the idea that there would be some vulnerability for people in such high-profile positions, I think, is becoming quite apparent to people, at least this evening. And when you look at that video, the hour of the day, the landscape of Manhattan, just how vulnerable was he to any attack?
Any attack. It could have been a person that had him targeted. It could have been just a street vendor. You just never know. I thought Mary Ellen kicked it out of the park. I love Mary Ellen. Every time she's on television, I'm intrigued by her. But one thing I haven't heard from a lot of people are two things. Number one, when the event happened. The event happened at 6:30 in the morning. A lot of people say, between 6:30 and 7. A lot of people say, well, why is that important? Well, that's shift change for the New York Police Department.
Yeah, I said that. Somebody just give me my award right now, because I said that the first day. They changed shifts at 6 o'clock, I thought.
There's not a lot of street officers on the street at that point in time.
But they made it there in 2 minutes, I said. And I said, that's crazy. They made it there so fast. I said, because they were probably doing a shift change.
Second,
I'm going to get that video.
I believe, just from what I've listened to from news media reports and Intelnet reports, I believe that this man had his schedule. I think this man knew his movements. And I think he posted up 5-10 minutes before he walked out of that other hotel and walked around the corner and was in front of the Hilton. I think that's important. And the last thing that I heard your other guests talk about is the gun and the positioning of the gun and how the gun jammed. You know, he did have a suppressor. He did have a baffler on that gun from what we've seen in the videos that have been supplied to all of us out here in the field. And the gun jammed because of the recoil of the action on it and the baffler. And not only that, but the silencer, let's just call it what it is, a silencer. And it did not set off any of the monitors in the city area that listen for gunshots that would have put police in the area immediately.
Wow.
So it just seems like the perfect storm.
Well, Philip, I mean, we don't have much time, sadly, but let me ask you, how many bodyguards should have been around him? What would that detail have looked like to secure his
I thought it would just be like one.
If he or his company had hired our firm, we would have had 10 agents around him at the minimum.
Really?
And that would have been an advanced team in front of the hotel, but we wouldn't have never moved him like that. We would have moved him out of his hotel through the back entrance, put him in a small motorcade, brought him over to the back entrance of the other hotel. You know, that's how we operate.
For just an executive like CEO?
Saying other CEOs would have that, Philip? I mean, you're saying CEOs of companies, that would be something like a government official. They would have that level of detail.
Yeah. Government official.
Yeah, because he's fixing to give a speech in front of stockholders that are not being monitored and are not being checked. So I would make sure that on my team, if I was the detail leader, I would make sure that we would have had the room secure, number one, but number two, we would have brought him through a back entrance because it's that important. You're talking again about a very important man in this country.
Wow. Would have never thought. A motorcade. That sounds like it. You know what I thought of? I thought of the Pope in his little car that they make him ride around in, and he hates that thing. He hates riding in that little car. He wants to be part of the people. But they always put, you know, the popes in those little like glass. Well, they're not glass. They're bulletproof, but those like cages. I would not want to be in one of those. It looks like a Cinderella thing, but I'm cool with that. I would not want to be a CEO of a company. I would not want that many people around me all the time. Can you imagine? The Pope Mobile, yeah. We need to get him one of those. Well, should have gotten one of those. Maybe we need to give him, whoever has the job the next time, he's going to need one. The Pope Mobile, but that is what it is. Yeah, they could have. I don't even know if there was any security there at all. You know, I wonder if there was any security already set up inside of the Hilton. You know, I don't see why walking across the street with one other person wouldn't have been a bad idea, but I don't think that probably would have helped. I mean, that one lady was standing right there in the corner, and that gunman didn't even care. You know, he was focused. He was there to do that job and then flee, and then get the heck out. And he knew exactly what he needed to do. I mean, we read earlier, he came into town 10 days prior to the shooting. He came into town and he went straight there. From the bus terminal, he went straight to where the crime was going to happen. He wanted to scope it out and see what was going on and see where his exit would be. He could have even been Google mapping it like we were, or Google Earth, and figuring it out that way. And then when he got there, he went and did like a drive run, did a dry run the first day. And maybe he went back after that. They just don't have that information yet because they haven't gone through all that footage yet. So yes, Scott. Yeah. Very proficient with firearms. I mean, he even knew the gun was like jamming or whatever it was doing, and he knew how to fix it right away. Like, no problem. Didn't scare him, didn't just drop the weapon and run away. Like, he actually got back in front of or behind the cars and the two cars and was standing in between them, so that he could walk by him. So he would be behind him. So he didn't want to face him either, that's kind of weird to me. Like, if I was going to carry out a crime like this, I would want to make sure that I was like unaliving that person. And he went for the back and the leg, like not very good shot, I feel like, if that makes sense. You think he's been to that city before? Been to the city before? Probably. Very well planned, yeah. Yeah, right. We never had active shooter drills when I was in school because that wasn't a thing then. We didn't have that problem. Like we've had since 2004. But we did tornado drills and fire drills. The tornado ones were fun. You just got under your desk and put your hands above your head. Like, what the heck's that going to do? We're all going to get sucked up. He walked up to him, but there was a lot of space in between them. In my opinion, I would have got as close as I could have. Like, I would have got a little closer if it was me. And I would have been directly behind him if that was me. But I don't know. I mean, I'm an okay shot. I used to shoot guns back in the day, but I just think that if you're going to go take out a CEO of a company, he shot him in the back and then the leg. I mean, unless you hit, that artery in your leg, you're not going to, that could, you can survive that. I mean, you can survive even if you hit the artery, but it's, you bleed out faster. I would think that you would want to go for like center mass or like the head or something. I don't want to sound like morbid, but that's what that's what I would think. But I guess he did walk over and shoot him a third time, we're hearing, but I don't know if that hit him because they just said once in the back, once in the leg. So I don't know, maybe. They wouldn't think they need it. It could have, yeah. I could have got him out early. It's crazy. This is a crazy case. We're going to cover it. We're going to figure out what's going on with it. And let me see what's on, if anything that's popped up on Twitter or anything. X. I'll never say X. One of these days I will. Oh yeah, we got to talk about all kinds of stuff. Brian Enton is sitting on the plane with dogs surrounding him. He has a dog behind him and a dog beside him. He's posted pictures. It's kind of funny. I don't see anything. No. Everything's kind of silent. Just the new photos. Yeah. Every other thing is footage of Sebastian eating. It's like, well, it's going to get out there, I say. Okay, I guess they don't. Oh my gosh, people are zooming into the photo and the video and stuff. I just can't handle it. I can't handle life like that. Okay, well, let me see. I think that's all I got to show you guys. Yeah, it's like nothing on Twitter about it. Yeah, he's long gone. I wonder where he's at. Yeah, the bomb threat. Yeah. Yep. At his house and at his wife's. Yeah. That's insanity. Like, Wonder why someone would call in the bomb threats. Like, this is all weird. We're missing a big chunk. We're missing missing pieces of this puzzle, and I don't like that, you know? We need some pieces put together. Actually, speaking of which, what time is it? Oh, it's 11. Maybe I will do the puzzle I have for a little bit. We got a puzzle, like, for Christmas 5 years ago or something, you know? Like, someone got us a puzzle, and I'm gonna do it this year. I'm gonna sit down and do that puzzle. Yeah, I think we'll dig into the insurance, like, part of it on our next live. See what they're saying. I did read some posts about him, and they were all good. But then I read that somewhere that there was posts that were said bad things about him, but I haven't seen them yet, so. Maybe he wasn't working alone. It was an operation. It could maybe. But everywhere he was at, he was by himself. Even the hostel. Like, they didn't even, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like this was a one guy deal. One person, you know? Him and his bushy eyebrows equal 3. I'm only saying that because of Brian Kohlberger's bushy eyebrows. Let me see we'll go over to the live tab and see what's going on. Yeah, this computer's running slow. I don't know if it's StreamYard or what. I'll have to see whenever I get off of StreamYard. And if it is StreamYard, then we might have to figure out. We might have to try to do restream or something. Okay. Okay, that's all I have. I was just looking. There's other people that are live, but it's just the one place that's like goes over. Like it goes over like in repeats, I believe. Yeah, it does. So, okay. Well, that's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I appreciate it. He got the bike from in the city. It was a city bike, but I read where he had carried the pack, like the battery pack with him. So I don't know. Yeah. It's really weird. I hope that they find this guy soon. I really do. I want to see him in person. I hope they catch him and they give him the perp walk like they do in Texas. Now, why can't we have more people like that? You know, those people down in Texas know what's up. They do perp walks. They don't care if it's 9 o'clock at night. They'll do a perp walk all day, every day. I like that about them. But thank you guys for being here tonight. I do appreciate it. Thank you for spending a little bit of your evening with me. We are here every evening, 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you are into true crime, you like to hear about different cases, we do cover all the cases that are trending, and we cover cases that aren't even trending as well. So tomorrow we'll be Missing Monday. We'll probably go over someone that's missing, I'm sure. So it is Missing Monday tomorrow. But thank you guys, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow night. Bye, guys.